I am actually an idiot. Oh, God's sake. So somehow I have managed to make all these beautiful pleats, and I got halfway around sewing them before I realised that I'd somehow managed to like miss out a huge chunk of the waistband, and I genuinely have no idea how this has happened. Hi guys, my name is Annabelle, this is the Horizon Cosplay YouTube channel, and welcome to the 12 days of Cosplay Christmas. Now today, we're not making a costume per se, but I found something very interesting in a charity shop that I wanted to share with you guys, which is this. And this, guys, is a 2nd grade quality kit, which I'm guessing means that there's something a little bit wrong with it, but that's fine. Sizes 12 to 14 to make one of these 3 dresses. I can tell you guys right now, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go with style A, because that's just the kind of thing that I like. And as it's a red dress, I figured it's kind of Christmassy. This is a vintage kit, and let's give it a try and see how this turns out. So we have, I'm guessing these are the skirt panels. It's a little bit stretchy and it is stripy, which is quite cute. I do approve of that. And it kind of goes from deep maroon, you've got some purple and green, bit of orange in there. So it is overall red, but it isn't just red, which I like. I like a bit of colour in my life. So this is pretty cool. So you've got all the pieces and they've clearly already been cut out for you. So we've got some strips of fabric here, which I'm guessing is going to be the waistband. Haven't actually read the instructions, but educated guess. We have what is, I can see an arm shape there, so that is definitely the top of the dress. Oh, this fabric is really soft. I like that. Before opening the kit, I read through all of the instructions just so that I knew what each part was. Then I laid it all out on the floor. The instructions did tell me to trim a few things, so I got out my ruler, drew a line where I needed to cut, and snip, 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 trimmed them away before ironing and pinning every piece. At this point, I realized I couldn't tell the fabric right side from wrong side, and that the fabric was quite thin, so we're just hoping that everything's the right way around, really. Though if I can't tell, I don't suppose it matters too much. Now, I will happily admit that though I did have a Christmas dress in mind when I started making it, I actually started this project in summer. There's 12 cosplay Christmas videos after all, and missing some videos last year, I wanted to get organised for this one. So I was just getting everything pinned up, and I thought I'd have a quick look at the packet, because I suddenly realised there's a sticker on there that I, for some reason, don't think I've actually read. So it does say it's size 12 to 14. Now, like I said, this is vintage, and vintage patterns tend to come out a little bit small, so I'm like a 10, 12, so I think this is going to fit me, but if it doesn't, we can snip, snip, trim it up a little bit. But the other thing that I realised is that this is labelled as a 2nd grade kit. It says, this is a 2nd quality kit for which we have allowed a reduction in price. If you think it is unsuitable, please return the kit to us within 7 days. In most cases, we think you will find the flaw not too obvious when the garment is made up. Now, I've got to be honest, I've just ironed every piece and I can't tell where the flaw is. So we're just going to roll with that. I mean, it has got a gradient on the skirt and the top bits are very pale, but I'm thinking that that's supposed to be intentional. I think this needs some stitching now, so we better go do that. I ran a stitch along everything that I had pinned. The neck facing, the skirt, the shirt, the waistband, everything got stitched, and it actually went really quickly and really well. The one thing I also noticed while sewing was that it was super soft fabric, making me even more excited to wear this. Hopefully it's going to be a hang around the house kind of outfit, and it's also a separate top and skirt, so I can mix and match it with other pieces in my wardrobe. Once they were all stitched, I then went and overlocked any and all raw seams. I did consider French seaming pretty much everything, but honestly I wanted the extra inch or so of fabric everywhere because I really liked the look of the loose fit. Okay, so one downside that I've definitely noticed about this fabric, though it is absolutely gorgeous and so soft, I cannot wait to wear it, but it is very flimsy, so I am a little bit worried that the waistband, when it sits around my waist, is going to get all wrinkled and not very nice, and the interfacing that I have is very stiff, and I thought it'd be really uncomfortable to put it on, so I was like really 50-50, kind of thinking, oh, maybe I can like find a cotton or something, and then I happened to put on this piece of fabric. Now, this is actually a interfacing thing. I mean, I'm presuming it's just woven interfacing, but it's quite thick, it's quite nice, and essentially this is from when I did my Cruella coat like 2 years ago now, I think, and this was the in between the wedding dress lining and outer silk, so it's quite good quality. I haven't used it in 2 years. I may as well put it on the waistband here. I think I might have to cut it on a bit of a bias because honestly just trying to find a straight line on this thing is utterly ridiculous, but I don't really mind. I just need something to give the fabric a little bit more extra weight where it's going to sit, and otherwise I think we need to get ironing. So I carried on pinning. I pinned and cut out the interfacing and then pinned up the hems on the skirt and the shirt, including the zipper line. Honestly, I had a moment here where I was 100% sure that this stuff had to be linen because it was so soft and nice, but checking the packet it does say 100% cotton, so you know what, I'm not going to complain. It's gorgeous fabric, that's all that matters. To be honest, at the charity shop they actually had a few
packets of these. There was only 2 adult ones and I did grab both of them, but darn, I wish I'd brought the others now just for the fabric. Once everything was pinned, I did begin to sew. The great thing about the skirt is that the base was made up of selvage edge, so I literally had to only turn it up once and we were sorted. The zipper area then got basted, ready for the zip to be installed. Next, I used a very small seam allowance to stitch on the interfacing outside of the existing stitch lines before moving on to the shirt. The shirt was the hardest part. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm having a lot of issues right now with my red bobbin. I was actually going to throw this bobbin in the bin because I've just had so many issues with it in the past, but it did mean that the wrong side of the stitches were a little bit messy, so I stitched with the pins facing down to ensure the neatest finish.
So it's now about 3 o'clock in the morning. I started this dress at 11 o'clock at night, and honestly if I stayed up another 2 hours I would probably be able to finish the entire thing, because essentially all I've got to do for the shirt is put on a facing and all I've got to do for the skirt is pleat it, and oh, now I just want to do that. Should I? Maybe. We'll see. So I'm gonna pin the facing down. I'm actually gonna do some decorative things around the right side of the facing once the inside bit is all hidden and neat. As for the pleats, we're going to kind of just lay it out on the waistband and see what happens, because yeah, I'm not sure how many pleats I can get in there. Hopefully quite a lot, but also I am willing to adjust depending on what we need, and I think I am going to, there goes a cat. But I think I am going to quickly iron everything before I go to bed, just because the iron's on and it's hot now and it does take a little while to heat up. So let's turn the waistband the right side around, get the neck facing pinned, and see where we're at after that. And we interrupt this video with a sponsor, and the sponsor today, guys, is me and my Ko-Fi and Etsy shop. You see, over the last few months I have been working hard on a cosplay planner. Now, the cosplay planner is perfect for people who are taking on several projects or just a really big one and need help organising their time, process, and just how to do it. Even organising what they need to learn to get that project done. This is something that I have really struggled with the last year or so because my life has just been hectic and those 12-hour night shifts do not help. So I created this to essentially help myself, and then it ended up being kind of cool, so I thought I'd share it with you guys as well. In this kit, you're going to be getting a goal planner, a daily, weekly, and monthly planner, to-do list, habit tracker, a daily journal that will help you just step away from all the stress of making stuff, because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes cosplay gets very stressful. A 30-day planner for those big projects that you know are going to take a month, and a 90-day planner for multiple projects that you know will take longer. Or just one really big one, it depends how long you are. I, at the moment, am churning out a video a week, so I think I need a little bit of help. All these documents come in one big bundle. It is going to be £10 on my Ko-Fi shop and Etsy. I'm going to set it at £10, but they like to add fees on top, so I'm not quite sure what the final number is going to be. However, for a discount on either platform, please use code 12days of cosplay Christmas for 10% off. And if you're on Ko-Fi, please don't forget to check out all my free downloadable sewing PDF patterns as well while you're there. And now, back to the video.
Also, if anyone is wondering why it is that I am wearing a blanket, it is because I am cold and the cats have claimed all of my dressing gown as beds, and so a blanket it is. I pinned on the neck facing, trimming the back bit down slightly just to make it fit. I then ironed out the waistband and trimmed down the excess interfacing that was poking out from the bottom. And with that, it was back to the sewing machine once more, and the facing was sewn on around the square neckline with minimal bobbing issues. Thankfully, I think I will finish the bobbin up this project, so I won't have to deal with these issues ever again, because that thing is going straight in the trash, where it clearly belongs. And then it was time for bed.
Good morning. So we have 4 things left to do on this outfit. We've got to install the zip, we've got to fold over, iron, and then attach the collar, and then we've got to do the pleats, the fold over and the ironing and attaching the collar, not collar, facing. It's too early, my brain is not focusing today, but it's fine. The point is we're gonna do the zip first, then I'm gonna trim and iron the collar, we're gonna then pleat the skirt, and then it's just hand stitching around the collar because it's a little bit plain and I want it to have a little bit of sparkle. Just a little bit, about that much. It will have sparkle. I think I need some tea before I sew though, because oh my gosh, my brain.
The first thing I did was stitch the zip. This was not easy with the bobbin and it came out rather wonky. However, it does work, so we're just going to leave it because that's fine and it's my project and I can decide to do that. I then went back to the shirt and trimmed into the corners of the square, then ironed the fold into place and pinned around the collar. We're going to hand stitch on top of the top stitching here, so we're going to leave that for the moment and return back to the skirt. Getting the box pleats right took a few tries, but using a fork to keep them even, we managed it, leaving a small gap between each one, which I actually really liked. And then for one last time, we visited the sewing machine. And I got about halfway around the skirt before
I am actually an idiot. Oh, God's sake. So somehow I have managed to make all these beautiful pleats, and I got halfway around sewing them before I realised that I'd somehow managed to like miss out a huge chunk of the waistband, and I genuinely have no idea how this has happened. But it's not like, if it was just a centimetre, I'd be like, oh, you know, give it a little bit of a wiggle, it'll be fine. No, that's like a good 5 centimetres a waistband, and this is like the perfect fit for me, so any tighter and I am going to not be able to breathe. I have repinned the pleats that I've already sewn. We're going to unpick them all and then give everything a bit of a wiggle round, because apparently that now needs to be a thing.
And if you enjoy watching me fix mistakes made by my own stupidity, do remember to hit that like button. So the unpicking began, and thankfully only the seams were ripped in this endeavour. Then I had to wiggle all the pleats around a little bit to take up that excess waistband area. And finally, we were back to the sewing machine, where a quick straight stitch had the pleats neatly in place. I then went to the ironing board and pressed the seams up into the waistband and folded the excess seam allowance around the inside of the waistband before pinning it in place. This pinned fold was then hand stitched down onto the existing stitch line, and done so extremely neatly, if I may say so myself, before I grabbed some vintage hook and eyes from my collection to stitch 2 onto the back waistband to keep it all together.
Well, the skirt at least is done, which means the only thing left is to do beading around the neckline, and then we'll actually have an outfit. Woo! So excited. Also, this is incredibly comfy, though I am wearing trousers underneath it currently, so yeah, but just look at these pleats. Aren't they gorgeous?
To bead the neckline and attach the facing, the main body of the shirt, I found my thinnest needle and loaded it up with the same red thread that I've been using everywhere else. And then I put 3 beads onto it before doing a stitch to hold them in place. I then put another 3 beads on, then the stitch, then another 3, and then a stitch, and so on and so forth for the next several hours. My god, adding those was such a lot of work, to be honest, more than I thought it would be, but at least I got to binge watch quite a few YouTube videos while doing it. And talking of binging, if you haven't checked out the other 12 Days of Cosplay Christmas videos that I've released this year, I do have a playlist on my channel or at the end of this video where you can find them all to help get yourself into the festive spirits. And with this, the outfit was done, so time for the grand reveal. The main thing I have to say about this outfit is that it is so damn comfy, but also just look at the thing. It is honestly amazing. I am incredibly glad that I added the beads around the neckline so it frames my neck and head nicely. Showing Ben what it looked like, he told me it looked rather Greek, but me being me, the first thing I compared it to was a very plain and casual version of the outfits from Encanto, but maybe that's just because I've watched that movie literally yesterday. While wearing this dress, I also had this flash of inspiration and suddenly decided to make a pattern based on the design and then make a Nemo dress. I can also say that since making this dress, it has become my favourite lays around the house outfit, not to mention that I've worn it so often to my non-uniform days that I have at work that I honestly think my colleagues believe that this is the only clothing that I own. So in other words, I 10 out of 10 recommend this. And as for it being Christmassy, well, I mean, it's red, it has a glittery neckline. I don't believe this would be inappropriate to wear on Christmas Day, which is exactly what I plan to do.
Well, I think it'd be fair to say that I love this top and skirt combo so much, I'm gonna make at least one more of them. Overall, I was making this because it was red and I figured I could turn it into a Christmassy dress, but I don't think it actually needs anything extra. The beads around the neckline are mwah, and they give it that tiny bit of sparkle and dark outline around the neck that I really think it needed. Overall, this is a great lounge around the house dress, and I'm definitely going to be wearing it a lot over the next few months as we approach Christmas, because of course I'm filming this video in advance. Though, no regrets, the longer I get to wear this, the better. And with that, guys, I will let you go. I hope you're having a wonderful festive season. Please let me know about your Christmas preparations in the comments down below, and I will see you in, a few days. Remember, the 12 Days of Cosplay Christmas means that I am posting 12 videos throughout December all about sewing, cosplay, and vintage sewing machine content. My usual stuff, there's just more of it. Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss anything, and check out the playlist that's linked at the end of this video if you maybe haven't seen all the videos yet. In the playlist is also videos from previous years which should help you get into the festive season. I know that this project wasn't particularly Christmassy. I was aiming to make a Christmas dress after all, and I'm not 100% sure I did this, but it's still an awesome outfit that I'm very happy to wear. And it's made out of a vintage dress kit. So guys, I will see you in a few days. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and until then, have a beautiful day. Bye!